What's up, magical people? Welcome back to your most magical life. I'm Mia Magic. Today we're talking about the significance of the year of the rabbit. This is such potent animal medicine and such an important message for all of us this year. There's so much significance. Can't wait to get into it with you. We've also just entered into Aquarius season, which is super impactful in this because one of the most important questions with Aquarius is how long are you willing to betray yourself for the approval of others? Aquarians don't give a fuck about what anyone else thinks, and that's gonna play big into this rabbit energy medicine. Make sure you stay tuned for the rest of this video because the most important part is gonna come a little later. As you can see, I have an epic little rabbit painting here on my altar. This set is still not done yet. I've been in LA for a week. I haven't been back in Boulder, so please forgive me. You know that I love my aesthetic backgrounds and it's just still hasn't come together yet. What I really wanna do is like put wallpaper all over that thing. But good thing that plays in, even in the most minute ways, to the energy and medicine and information of the rabbit. So in Chinese astrology, which I don't know that much about, I'm just gonna give you the energy of the rabbit that I know a ton about. One of my aunties made that painting for me when I was a little girl. Rabbits have been a major totem and are super symbolic for me in my life. So I'm very excited to share all of this with you guys because in their light, we've always heard, right, like fuck like rabbits because a tiny little bunny can have up to 18 kits. That's what baby bunnies are called, kits. Can have 18 kits in their womb in a single litter. 18! That's a lot of babies, especially for a little tiny animal like that, right? So in their light, rabbits are creative and they're, cuddly. Rabbits are incredible parents. They are very nurturing. They are very loving. They will do anything for their babies. You obviously see a lot of like protective parents in the animal kingdom, especially when it comes to predators. Like we think about mama bears, mama lions, but rabbits have an almost, some people don't like anthropomorphizing animals, but like they have a deep sweetness with their young. It's not just about the sort of propagation. It's really about their relationship to their babies. And they're incredibly, incredibly attentive. They're very hyperactive parents, which, like sometimes we think about those kind of helicopter, what do they call them? Stage moms. So I don't see rabbits as like that. But when we tune into this energy of the creativity, right? This is the invitation for us in 2023. If we're going to be in the light of the rabbit, it's about nourishing and nurturing our creations, right? So those 18 babies doesn't have to be babies for you, right? It can be other creative projects, art, song, music, dance, your business, right. I'm writing a book right now, right? So it's all of these different things. And whatever it is that you're bringing to life, whatever it is that you're creating, it's about nurturing and nourishing it, being the best parent to it that you can possibly be. Now, I'm sure those of you who have children, you have experienced, and I experienced this myself with like my cats and just life in general, that sometimes it's really hard to take care of yourself before you take care of others. Sometimes we forget about taking care of ourselves. Sometimes we, put ourselves on the back burner in place of being a good parent. However, we always have to go back to the metaphor of the mask on the airplane. You got to put your own mask on first, because if you don't, and you're focusing on helping someone else and you get their mask on and you're running out of oxygen, you might die or pass out, let's not get too extreme, but an adverse reaction or outcome might occur for you if you are not tending to yourself first and foremost. So that is a big message of the rabbit for us in humanity right now is like, are we tending to ourselves? Are we caring for ourselves? Are we giving ourselves what we need in order to show up for our creative projects, for what we're birthing into the world, for whatever it is that we are making, right? Like that we're bringing life to. What kind of life is filling us? What kind of power are we sourcing within ourselves in order to then give to that thing, whether it's a child or a book or a business or a creative project, whatever it is. It doesn't matter. It's just about anything that you're creating. This has been so heavy and big and important on my mind because I have this amazing new program called Sorceress coming up. This is a 12-week deep dive into how and where you source your power from, how you fill yourself in life, how you source everything in your reality, and what it means and what it can do for you. If you're interested in diving really deep with me, this is the most profound ritual coaching container I've ever created, with deep daily videos and practices, everything that I've learned over the last 12 or 15 years of becoming the most magical version of myself. I am sharing it finally with all of you. So if you're interested in that, please click the link below. So we're working deeply with the elements, and that's another piece of the rabbit medicine that's so important right now, because this year is actually the year of the water rabbit. Now, we think of rabbits as being very earthy, right? They're little four-legged creatures. Generally, the four-legged ones are the earth's beings, but the water is the yin, it's the receptive energy, it is that creative energy, it's very much in flow, right? Only if we are frozen or rigid does the water stop moving. And that is the most important message of this entire video. This is that important piece that most people forget about, because when we think about the rabbit and that creativity and the fuck like bunnies and the whole thing, it's great. It's amazing. Who doesn't love that? We all love it. However, when rabbits are in their shadow, or the darkness, right? The shadow medicine of the rabbit, we've all got dark and light, right? When a rabbit is afraid, it's eating its little munching food, and it's just doing its little thing, living its best life, right? And then and the eyes widen and the ears perk up and they stop and they're just frozen, right? They're not moving. I did this in another video, and it feels horrible, right? You can feel the energy of doing that. You can feel the different hormones and the fear that run through your body when you do that. Sorry, there's beautiful deer walking across the mountainside in front of me right now. Speaking of gentleness and good spirit animal medicine, thanks, ladies. But that fear that a rabbit feels is actually what allows the predator to sense and perceive its presence more easily, more quickly, and more strongly. The frequency of the fear is more easy to detect than the frequency of ease, of the trust. I'm good. I'm hanging out here nibbling on my grass. Everything's great, right? So that is the most important message of this entire year, especially with what's happening on the planet, y'all. It's we can't pretend anymore. We were all shut inside of our houses for a couple of years. We're reemerging, and it's just one thing after the other, right? There's just so much happening on this planet right now. And when we choose to live in fear of it, we are actually drawing more of those things to ourselves. Now, this can be in the micro and the macro, right? Overall, our species has been programmed to live in fear. I was just watching this little clip about the guy who wrote Rich Dad, Poor Dad, which I haven't read, but he's talking about how his dad was a government employee for the Ministry of Education, or whatever that is that we call that here. That's what they call it in the UK. And he told his son when he was 9 years old, you don't learn about money in school because they don't want you to know how to have it. They want you to learn how to get a job. That's what school is programming you for. Beyond that, I'm sure any of you who follow me on Instagram have seen I've been really charged up on the damage that has been done by the programming of the patriarchy in the church. I'm not against Jesus. I love Jesus. I love the teachings that the kingdom of heaven is within you, and that love your neighbor and be charitable. I'm all for that. But why aren't we asking how the people who burned others alive, tied them to stakes and pyres, and ignited flames beneath them, drowned them, tortured them, how are we not aware that those are the people who were evil rather than the witches they blamed the evil on? There is so much fear inside of all of us. We're afraid of our magic. We're afraid of our power. We're afraid of our pleasure. We're afraid of moving in the direction of our purpose. It's scary to like leave that, secure job. Because then you're free. And this is the most impactful and like the deepest, most profound element of this water rabbit energy this year is we are meant to be in our creative flow. We are not meant to be contained, right? Water wants to be free. There are days on the ocean where it's still and glassy and silent and easy, and there are days where it is terrifying. But we're meant to go through those cycles and seasons within ourselves. And that energy of the rabbit is if we are afraid of our emotions, water also rules the emotions. If we are afraid of our emotions, then whatever it is that we're afraid of, right? So say that I'm afraid of feeling anger, or I'm afraid of feeling sadness because I'm worried that I will be judged or abandoned or, deemed unworthy. I'm worried that I will be, talked about. The more power we give those thoughts, those fears, I'm worried about this, I'm so terrified of this, of people judging me, of people, hating me, talking bad about me behind my back for feeling my feelings. So I suppress my feelings. I betray myself, right? How long are we willing to betray ourselves for the approval of others? That Aquarian energy. I betray myself, and then because I'm betraying myself, because I'm not being true to who I really am, exactly the things that I am afraid of come into my life. More judgment, more abandonment, more rejection, because I'm not being true to myself. Anyone can feel when you are not being true to yourself. People can sense that, right? Just like the predator. People want to be around people who feel safe and comfortable being themselves, because that energy and that vibration not only role models, but gives us permission to be our authentic selves. And nobody doesn't want to feel that. We can feel afraid of it, right? We can feel unworthy of it. We can feel like we don't know how to do that. Join Sorceress for that. We can feel like we have no idea who it even is, our authentic self. That's okay. We still want to be it. We still don't want to be the version of ourselves that exists purely in reaction and response to the negative programming we've received in our lives. So we've got to ask ourselves, what ways is my life being ruled or informed by my fear? What are the creative habits, expressions, ways of being that I am being asked to embody? And this has been a huge piece for me lately because I'm working on my book. And so I have been so intent upon making sure that I am in my devotion. I am in my spiritual practice. I'm meditating, I'm yogaing, I'm breath working, I'm getting outside and taking walks in nature. I'm making sure I'm getting sunlight. When I was in LA, at least, not much happening up here in the snowy mountains, but I have to fill my own cup. I have to nurture myself, parent myself, be the most amazing mother to myself, to my own womb and portal of creation, in order to know that that creation itself is the most powerful, most beautiful, most activated version of itself that it can possibly be, because I'm the one creating it. Really considering, in what ways am I betraying myself during this Aquarius season before we lead into Pisces, which is the sign of the mystic? How am I still behaving as if I don't trust my mystical self? I'm afraid of being this witchy or magical version of who I am, of claiming my power, right? Pisces is the most like psychic, magical, like full fucking sorceress, right? That's why my program is called that, spelled differently, right? Because we're really filling ourselves with our own source and becoming the wellspring of where that power rises from. But as we move through this Aquarian season into this first chapter of the year of the rabbit, this is all about, can we be aware of the things that we're afraid of and then choose the creative path. Choose to put our mask on first, right? So that we can care for ourselves. What do I need? When I feel afraid, what do I need? Do I need to be loved? Do I need to be nurtured? Do I need to be hugged or held? Do I need to go out into nature? Do I just need to take a deep breath? Am I dehydrated? Do I need a glass of water? Water is going to be so important for all of us this year. More baths, more time in lakes and streams and creeks and rivers, by the ocean, more rain, hopefully. Please, Goddess, we need so much rain in the places that need it, right? Maybe a little less in the places that don't. More flow. We can just drop back and surrender into the water. We can just let ourselves be fully held. That's the energy of this water rabbit. The earth will hold you. You can surrender if you trust in your creative capacity. And this isn't just about what we're creating, right? It's about you are creating your life every day through how you walk forward. Every step you take, every choice you make, you're creating your life. You're creating the patterns of fear or the patterns of creativity being actualized, being implemented, deepened, right? Carving that path. And this is also really, I know that you guys love when I drop in like personal things. This is really impactful for me right now because yesterday I had the most powerful meditation, like almost maybe of my life. No medicine, no breath work, just an intention to connect with the interplanetary forces. My partner is like a really deep galactic council kind of guy. And so I was like, well, I'm such an earth queen. Like, what is my role in that? And I was shown just unexplainable magic. It was so powerful and so beautiful. I was weeping through the meditation. And then afterwards, as I was reflecting, I was like weeping. And as soon as I got out, journaling, processing, like, oh my God, telling him how amazing it was. And then I got one text that was about something that I can't do anything about right now, that I literally just flew to LA to try and handle. Thought I'd handled it, thought everything was taken care of, and I get a text that says, actually, just kidding, the thing that you came to take care of isn't actually the thing that we needed. Now we need something completely different, and we need it done as soon as possible. And like, the story that I made up was like, you fucked up. That's not true. I hadn't been clearly communicated with, but whatever. And I went into a full fucking spiral. I couldn't think about the Galactic Council. I couldn't think about my role. I couldn't think about the incredible joy and blessings that I was just experiencing moments before. I was like in a deep, dark hole of all these stories and all this stuff, all this fear. And you know what I did? I noticed that was happening. I was like, holy shit. I was just in this super high vibrational state, feeling fucking amazing. Now one minute little thing just like tears me and takes me down. I'm going to just focus on what I like to call the thank bank. What am I grateful for? What do I feel good about? How can I call back those memories of that good feeling into my moment right now and just like get back into that kind of energy I want to be creating more of? And the moment I did that, some of you are going to get how big of a deal this is. Some of you aren't. But my cat, got a black cat, super witchy, climbs up mountains with me, fucking badass, savage witch goddess named for the Roman goddess of wisdom. And Professor McGonagall, obviously. But she does not like to do lots of snuggling. She doesn't sleep on the bed at night as much as I wish she would. Her brother does. She just like doesn't sleep on the bed. And the moment that I went back into, I'm choosing consciously to be in gratitude, to not be sucked down by the thing that I'm afraid of. I'm going to just be thankful. She climbed up onto the bed, curled up right next to me, and like cuddled in and snuggled with me for the entire night. My partner woke me up in the middle of the night to be like, baby, look at Minerva. And she was sandwiched in between us. Has never happened in 2 years with this cat. Never. So that is how small but massive, like micro versus macro, these kinds of choices and pieces can be for all of us. We can be immediately rewarded by that rabbit medicine when we choose to consciously create and parent ourselves the way that we want to experience. We all have issues with our parents, right? Mom, dad, guardians, grandparents, whatever it is. But you have the power to become exactly the kind of parent you always wanted for yourself. Putting your mask on first, caring for yourself the way that you've always yearned to be cared for. And everything will change. Nothing that you fear can take you down after that. So this is the medicine of the rabbit for this year, for 2023. Don't be afraid. The world's gonna get scarier. There's gonna be more things to be afraid of, but don't let it take you down. Focus on what you want to create, the kind of world you want to live in, because the more of us, highly recommend reading, I have this in my spiritual books video, but Power versus Force by David Hawkins. He's the founder and creator of kinesiology, right? Muscle testing, understanding how our bodies respond, even if our minds don't know what's going on. And there's this quantifiable scale of consciousness. It's like putting numbers to things, but it makes it very understandable. And the more of us that reach a certain level of consciousness, let's call it 600, right? If it's 0 to 1,000, the more of us that reach 600, the more people will naturally be entrained, like the way that clocks entrain, they'll be entrained with that higher vibration. So all you have to do is focus on yourself and your healing and how you can show up better, how you can source your power in ways that are aligned with the earth and the planet. I'm talking about stop buying plastic shit from Amazon. Yes, I know I keep saying it, but I'm sorry, it's true. I'm not sorry, actually. We have to be in alignment with the earth. We have to be in alignment with this rabbit medicine. We have to understand that we are being programmed to be afraid, and we are the only ones who can choose whether or not we will be. So thank you all so much for watching this video. I am so grateful to each and every one of you for being here. I hope you have such a blessed and happy, real lunar new year. Right now, it's a great time to replant some seeds and set new intentions. Aquarius season and the Aquarius new moon and this lunar new year are all tied together right now. So this is a great time to be in that visionary capacity of the kind of world we want to create, the legacy we want to leave on this planet through how we lead our lives. So again, if you'd like to join me in Sorceress, please click the link below. It's going to be so profound. We begin in the middle of February. I am Mia Magik. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. I am so eternally honored and grateful for the privilege of welcoming you to your most magical life.